Damn, dude. You doing another live? Yeah, son. Doing another live, man. Live and direct, man. Off the cuff radio, King Eric. Had to get some light right there because that shit was on. But yeah, I'm back, man. About to hit y'all with another live real quick. Two topics I want to touch on. Now I seen this here. I looked on Art of Dialogue's channel, and I seen a clip of Snoop Dogg. Eli Manning showing a death row box, and it had a chain on it. And I seen Eli Manning put on a death row chain, and I have mixed feelings about that. Bro, for real, because on one hand, I'm looking at it like it's a great business move. Because think about this: if Snoop is gonna take Death Row, the keys to Death Row, and expand it, it's gonna have to go international. You know what I mean? Meaning that, look at how these other labels at the time that was popping off, they had athletes wearing their chains. Rockefeller had athletes wearing their chain. Terror Squad had athletes wearing their chain. Wu-Tang had athletes wearing their chain. Who else? No Limit, Cash Money. A lot of athletes don't wore a lot of labels chains. But the difference here is with Death Row is it's more so personal, yo. There's a lot of street shit that goes involved with that. You know what I mean? It's more deep in the street side than that. Because if we look at the true origins of Death Row, it was built on street politics. Like, you couldn't even be seen wearing a Death Row chain unless you was putting in that work, or you were solidified in the streets, or you were just stamped by Suge or the Pyrus. So, being that a lot of people died off that chain, including Tupac, I have mixed feelings about other people that don't have no clue of the history, just wearing it just so it looked cool. I wouldn't even wear it. I wouldn't even wear that chain at all because of just based on the simple fact of what came with that. I don't know how Suge would feel about that, to be honest with you. But if you really look at it, it's a good expansion move. If you're going to take Death Row to a new level, you got to make it more accessible for everybody to embrace it. But being that you had artists that died off that chain, Tupac in particular, it's kind of like it gave me mixed feelings about that. MLK, the NFL rigs a playoff game to screw the black quarterback. What else is new? Ain't no surprise. Just like even when I look at the WWE, you had Bobby Lashley beating up the Hurt Business. They don't respect black people on MLK Day. All these companies do that. But going back to the topic real quick, I want to know what y'all think about that. Do you guys think that it's a disrespectful move on Snoop's behalf to give Eli Manning a Death Row chain? Let me know in the comments, y'all. Shoot the breeze with me. Because knowing the history like we do and knowing we grew up around that era and you seen what went down and how certified you had to be to wear that chain, you got tested everywhere just by wearing that chain alone. Niggas got beat up for wearing or tested to wearing that chain. I want to know how. I'm interested to know how some of the people that work with Death Row feel about it. I'm curious to know about that. Matter of fact, I might make some calls and I might make another post about that and ask, because you had to be a certified street nigga to wear that chain. You couldn't be no buster, as Suge would say. You couldn't be no mark. So seeing Snoop giving random people chains like that, it's kind of more of a personal thing. I remember even that's what broke the relationship with DJ Paul and Juicy J. When Juicy J started giving random niggas hypnotized mind chains, it started being an issue. Paul didn't like that. It's the same thing with Rockefeller. Dames just started giving random niggas Rockefeller chains, and Jay didn't like that. So it's a lot of personal significance behind those chains. It represents blood, it represents sweat, it represents tears, it represents pain, it represents death, it represents life, it represents all that stuff. So giving random people that don't have no history with the organization, the chain could be very seen as a sign of disrespect. Same with RZA and RZA. Like, but see, what's different with RZA is those niggas was family though. Now you start bringing outsiders like Silverings and all them guys, it becomes a different element. See, those guys like Killer Army and Sons of Man, they were basically family. So there ain't nothing wrong with family. I'm talking about outsiders. And I can understand to a degree that you want to expand, but see, Death Row wasn't like that. You had to be, like I said earlier, you had to be pretty much respected to wear that chain. No random Johnny come lately's gonna wear that chain. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Break it down, King. Yeah. See what Snoop doing. I see what Snoop doing in the business end, because he's looking at it how Master P did it. Master P had a lot of athletes wearing that No Limit chain or wearing the No Limit gear. He had we had Terror Squad. Everybody from Stephon Marbury, they was a member of the Terror Squad. They wore the Terror Squad chains. Who else? Of course, Wu-Tang. Damn, Rockefeller. Yeah, Rockefeller. Cash Money. If you had to be a part of the family to wear that chain. Death Row, on the other hand, it was cliquish. It was very cliquish. I ain't never even seen Dr. Dre wear a chain. G-Unit, yeah, G-Unit too, yeah. Yeah, you even seen Joe, the R&B singer, wearing a G-Unit chain, but he was doing work with them. Rough Riders, okay, yeah, my mind's a little flazy. But you had athletes and all types of entertainer rocking the chain. Dipset, yep. Sure enough. Yeah, you gotta help me out a little bit. But see, Death Row was different. Death Row was ran like a street gang in a way. They ain't think outside. They weren't industry at all. See, Dipset and them, they looked at that like that's good business, getting that mainstream appeal. Death Row won't like that. It wasn't like that at all. So I just had mixed feelings about that, just based off the history. Terror Squad. Just based off the history of that, of the significance of that chain alone, I kind of feel that it could be considered a slap in the face because a lot of niggas died off that chain. But understanding the business side of it, I see what he's trying to do. I'm not bashing him on that. That's like you want to find ways to make money. You want to find ways to market Death Row into a new millennium. So we'll see where it goes with that. We'll definitely see where it goes with that. But talking about T.I. now. T.I. calling out everybody. He said regardless of what era, I won't smoke with everybody. That's right, T.I. Bring me the bullet. He want to smoke with everybody. But let me say this. T.I. got a good catalog. I mean, he has the King album, the trap music. I'm thinking off the head. Urban Legend. Yup, T.I. want to smoke with everybody. He called out anybody for a verse. Old school, new school. Nobody can hang with him on the mic. And he name dropped Jay-Z, Nas, and Lil Wayne in particular. Now it gets interesting. But yet, I'm trying to figure this out. How is he going to call these guys out, but duck Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes been wanting to smoke for almost a year now. He ready. That's right, smoked them out. Ludacris smoked them out. He smoked them out. He had to get his manager on the phone to clear that up. He ain't wanted it with Luda. Andre killed him on Sorry. T.I., man, come on, man. Ludacris smoked them on Stomp. Andre obliterated him on the Sorry joint. Paper Trail was dope. Paper Trail was dope. That's one of his best albums. He has a nice catalog, but hanging with these dudes? Nah. I would say, what about Busta? Man, look. Busta alone will obliterate T.I. on that stage. And I like Tip, but he out of line right now. Lil Wayne, if he ain't on drugs, he can give him a run for his money. But see, I knew he was gonna throw a Lil Wayne out there, because just like I said, him and Lil Wayne ain't been eye to eye in years. Him and Lil Wayne ain't been eye to eye in years, because see, T.I. called Lil Wayne out on a lot of his cooning. So I knew he was gonna throw Lil Wayne out there, but the Jay-Z and Nas is kind of surprising. But I'm gonna tell you this: you worth a couple grand, $100,000 in, I'm worth millions. Yeah, he ate T.I. lunch on that joint. Matter of fact, Jay-Z and Wayne ate his lunch on Swagger Like Us. Like, come on. Come on, Tip. They ate his lunch there. And they did a posse cut together. He ain't even the best of his own region. Big Boy alone would eat T.I. CeeLo. Don't let that weirdo shit fool you. CeeLo Green is one of the coldest out there. He ain't even the best of his own region. I respect his confidence. You got to have confidence to be able to call out the whole industry and back it up. But at the same time, he ain't going to measure the Busta. The only one, he ain't going to measure the Jay at all. He patterned his marketing style off Jay. I remember niggas used to call him the Jay-Z of the South. So he kind of copied his marketing off of it. See, Jay-Z influenced a lot of these guys. And I'm going to get to him in a minute. But he influenced a lot of these guys in terms of marketing. Little John. Now, Little John is more of a producer. He's not really a rapper. But yeah, but T.I., he bugging right now. He wanted to beef. He wanted to smoke with 50. I remember even somebody bringing up Game. I said, no. T.I. will eat Game. Scarface. Man, come on. Come on. Face would kill him in 6 joints, yo. Because, see, T.I. don't have any. He has dope songs. Jeezy. Yep. Matter of fact, Jeezy and T.I. was originally supposed to do it, but then Gucci came in. They figured it would make more money with doing that. So they went ahead and just went with that plan instead. But Busta Rhymes will eat T.I. alive. I mean, let's be clear. Look at his catalog. The Coming, When Disaster Strikes, Extinction World Event, Genesis, The Big Bang, the Flip Mode Squad album. And don't get me started on the features. That will eat T.I. T.I. will have a long night. And y'all, if y'all seen Busta Rhymes, I ain't never seen Busta Rhymes on stage, but man, now I'm talking about live, but that brother can bring a show. Straight up. So I don't know, man. I'm interested to see. I won't really feel it ain't safe no more. That was like a Rush album. He just threw that out there to get out of his contract. That was a rushed album. But he got hits. He got a lot of hits. He got a lot of bangers. And people were saying, well, it need to be him and Missy. I don't really see that. Because, no disrespect to Missy, but Busta wants to get in the lane where he could talk his shit. That's what a versus does. He can get up there and talk shit. He ain't gonna be able to do that with Missy. It will be more like a love fest. And plus, Missy's style, I mean, they have a very eccentric style, but to go head to head on some competition shit, it won't match. If it was on some friendly vibe, like Snoop and DMX, it'll work. But being that Jadakiss took the verses to another realm, now it's competitive now. Now it's competition. And Missy and Busta won't work. I know people want to say this needs to happen, it won't work at all because Missy's a sweetheart. Busta Rhymes an animal. No disrespect. But when it comes to that disrespect, niggas get a little saucy, they drink a little bit, and you're gonna see it get more competitive. Busta wants to compete. He can't talk trash with Missy. Cause then you're gonna have all these women white groups and all this stuff taking the fun out. Busta need to go as somebody that can talk that trash with him. And T.I. need to answer the call. Because you already got somebody answering, and he want to sit there and talk about, oh, he's too old. How old is Jay-Z? Jay-Z and Nas are pushing 50, if not 50 already. So what are you talking about? Just say you don't want none of Busta. That's all I got to say. Just say you don't want it with Busta Rhymes. Because Busta Rhymes, he will spank that ass. Pause. But yeah, going back to what I was talking about with Jay-Z for a minute, I read something earlier that Jay-Z said that he don't like the It's My Lifetime Volume 1 album. To this day, he don't like it. And it's because number one, the Sunshine joint. See, even though these records are good, a lot of artists don't like a lot of these records, not based off how dope they are, but the time period where they were making them. It could have been a dark time period. Just like when Ghost was talking about he hated Iron Man. We was like, what? Iron Man one of the flyest records ever made. But when he gave the breakdown of what he was going through at that time, I understood. But with Jay is the same thing because see, Bad Boy was running the ship. Puffy had the crown jewel. So Jay came out there off the gate with the In My Lifetime Volume 1. The first thing I remember, City Is Mine, I was like, I wasn't really feeling it at first. It was like, it was a little too R&B-ish, a little too commercial. Because he had a lot of Bad Boy producers working on that album. Even though it was a dope tribute to Jay, and if you really, The Big, if you look at it now, it's good, but back then I was like, it's alright. And who you blame for wearing them single jigger to compete? Yeah. But see, look at this. It had a lot of his best records up there. Imaginary Player, Lucky Me, Friend or Foe, The Streets Is Watching, Where I'm From, You Must Love Me. That's one of my favorite Jay-Z records right there. One of the best storytelling records ever. But those singles he picked left a bad taste in his mouth. The Sunshine joint, all them colors and shit. I'm like, damn. Remember Redman said he doesn't like Dare the Dog, so even though the record sucked. True that, because Red was on, he was heavy on drugs at the time. He said he was going through a dark period. He was doing acid. He was experimenting with acid at the time. He was fucked up through that whole album. On Reasonable Doubt, Jay was on that Mafioso tip. I wouldn't say it was Mafioso. It was more so like player pimpish. Mafioso was something that Wu-Tang was doing. The Firm, Nas was doing that. The Firm was doing that. You know, taking different Mafioso names and stuff as their character on wax. Jay-Z wasn't really doing that. Jay-Z was talking all that Big Willie Fly shit player stuff. Yeah, he was imitating Puff, because Puff had the hits. Then he dropped that weak ass, I know what girls like. I know what they want. They think I'm sexy. Oh my God, that was awful. Jay didn't even sound right rapping to that. First he imitates Biggie, then he imitates Puffy. I don't think he imitates Biggie because Jay's flow is his style is way different from Biggie. Now the image is similar to Big, the Versace, the Chris Sippin, and all that, but flow wise, they're totally different. Their styles are totally different. But picking those singles, he didn't like it at all. And that's why they had to get off the Bad Boy tour. They wanted to get off the Bad Boy tour early because that wasn't really them. That Sunshine shit, that wasn't Jay. They were just basically just playing the game to get hits. But I like In My Lifetime Volume 1. I actually like Volume 1 better than Volume 2. Just take away 3 of those bad records, you got a classic Jay-Z album. But the smart thing they did, they took his best records from that album and made a marketing push to gain that street credibility back. That's when they came out with the Streets is Watching soundtrack. It was great booking. It brought Jay-Z's name back in the streets. Volume 2 is pure Jay. I'm going to tell you this. I have mixed feelings about Volume 2, bro. Because, see, Volume 2, it was more so like a compilation to me. And at that time, everybody was doing compilation type albums. You know what I mean? Everybody was doing, like Fat Joe had Don Cartagena, Mac 10 had The Recipe. Everybody was following that formula at the time. I wanted to hear more Jay stuff. But see, every track had guests. And at that time, that kind of bothered me. Like Ride or Die, Hard Knock Life, and there was another song he had up there. It was the joint that Kid Capri did. Jay-Z is a compilation rapper, respectfully. That's debatable, bro. Because see, the Blueprint showed me that Jay can really carry an album. It was really debatable within itself if he could carry an album for a minute. Because that was a kind of like an Achilles heel for him. Blueprint showed me that. Reasonable Doubt, it had his guests there. I mean, he had a lot of solo songs there, but Blueprint, it showed him. And for him to say he probably, hold on, I'm reading. In the beginning, Snoop saying F Death Row, but now he want to give Eli Manning a chain for promotional purposes and shit. That's fake. See, that's where I have mixed feelings about. I mean, compilation turn of different sounds. Okay, I got you on that one. But Hard Knock Life, I see at first, they overrated the hell out of it because it got 4.5 mics in the source. And at the time, I was like, this shit ain't no 4.5 mics. But I had to give it a thoroughbred listen. I give it a real thorough listen. Jay-Z is great at rocking different sounds for different coasts, from different cats. Yup. He studied the game from Big. See, when you were understudy from Big, see, Big mastered that. Life After Death was the game changer for New York City because it appealed to everybody. A lot of people started copying that formula after that. They tried to study that. Jay tried to study it. Nas tried to study it. They try to master what Big brought to the table, and that's making good music for everybody. It didn't sound forced. That's how talented Big was. That Life After Death album changed the New York landscape forever. He had songs with Bone. It was dope. It had the deep songs, Missing You. He had the storytelling songs. Like, what's the name of that song? Somebody Gotta Die. He had the battle type songs with what's the name of that shit? Kicking the Door, Long Kiss Goodnight, where he dissed Tupac. Yeah, that's a Tupac diss. I ain't gonna care what these niggas say. That's a Tupac diss. It's funnier though, you could argue that Big watered down hip hop by doing that. That's another debate though. Because see, that's where the J. Rue the Damages, the Boot Camp Clicks, and all those guys, they started going at Big because they saw they was going at Big because they saw where hip hop was going. Big is a hip hopper at heart. He was. But he understood to go to that next level, He understood that he had to make those records that Puffy showed him how to make. And he learned a lot of that game from Tupac as well. Juicy had the whole West Coast vibe, bro. I don't think Juicy had a West Coast vibe. I think Big Papa had more of a West Coast vibe. That was the record right there. That was the record. The minute you get the women, that's all she wrote. I saw Biggie on the first tour. He had the alcoholics open up for him. Big Papa. Yep, Big Papa. Yeah, that was the record right there. I said that to myself. Like, yeah, this nigga gonna be a star. The minute you get the women, that's all she wrote. It's happened with DMX too. DMX already had the niggas. When he dropped Get At Me, Dog, Stop Being Greedy. When he dropped How It's Going Down, niggas start taking his shirt off on stage. That's it. You type in that women demographic, that's where the dollars come. Biggie wanted Machine Gun Funk as his first single. He did not like Juicy Felt. That's true. He didn't like doing pop records, but he happened to be good at them. Big was happy to be real talented, and he just went ahead and did it. It doubled his dollars. It maximized his sex appeal. We say what we want about Puffy. Puffy can market his ass off. He knows how to market. He's one of the hardest workers in his business. We can say what we want about him. I've said a lot of things about him. He done a lot of things I disagree on, but that man can market. He can make some stars. That man can make some stars for real. If he was gonna make Craig Mack a star, he was gonna make Craig Mack a player type dude. But Mack wasn't with it. Big was with it though. A real man can speak to both the men and the women. It's challenging because see, you gotta be able to make them songs though. It gotta sound good though. It gotta sound fly. A guy like Cannabis, he couldn't make songs for the women. Pun did when he dropped Still Not a Player. Look what happened. Nas, Jay-Z, DMX, women love these guys. Nas even tried it. But see, Nas dropped Street Dreams. Then he dropped If I Rule the World. That helped him. Cannabis was too limited when it comes to mainstream appeal. If I was in Cannabis' ear, I was like, look, man, that's not your lane. Your lane is bars. You focus on that. You should straight cut their heads off for 15 songs. We give you the sickest beats. For Muggs, RZA, Showbiz, Dame Grease, whomever. The Beat Nuts, give them all them beats. RZA, give them all that. Let them cut all their heads. But see, he tried to go conceptual. And niggas weren't trying to hear that. They were trying to hear bars. Cannabis was marketable. I mean, think about it. When you put LL Cool J on the ropes, you have the people's ear. But he put out an album that people weren't trying to hear at the time. That's the problem. He put out an album that nobody wanted to hear. Nobody wanted to hear that deep shit Cannabis was talking about when he was rapping as a sperm. Nobody wanted to hear that shit. But Pun, he knew how to do it. Dream Shatter, super lyrical, Caribbean Connection, Twins with him and Fat Joe rapping over the deep cover beat. That's what people wanted to hear. Cannabis was rapping over some other shit. I mean, that's the truth right there. And people want to say, well, LL built blackballed him. Nah. LL couldn't do that, man. Like, you put out a bad album that did it itself. It's not that people don't want to hear deep rhyme. We don't want to hear deep rhyme, these sleepy beats. Tell you, man, if I had Cannabis ear, I'm like, nigga, we getting Muggs, we getting RZA, we getting Premier, we getting Showbiz, Diamond D. Even though we gonna up the budget out the ass, we gonna get them niggas because they can match your venom. That's what he needed. That's what Pun did. See, Fat Joe also had the budget. Fat Joe also had the budget, and he had the connections to the streets. Now, this could play a key role too. I'm not gonna put it entirely on Cannabis, but think about this. Him possibly beating LL could have been the reason why a lot of people didn't want to fuck with cannabis. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people probably didn't want it. They were like, oh man, LL's my man. He going at it with him. I don't want to fuck my relationship up with L, so we ain't gonna give him no beats. That's how this shit happens in this business. Cannabis passed on the devil's poppy. He's a dumbass nigga for that. Can you imagine that? He would have smoked that beat. Damn, I wish I was Cannabis A&R back then. You gonna pass that beat on? That's one of Premier's best beats. But then again, I can't believe that's a first. See, that's why I like doing live dialogue with y'all, because y'all could tell me something I didn't know. I didn't know he had the devil's pie beat. That's crazy. Good looking on that information. And D'Angelo took it and he turned into some fly R&B shit. Oh, man. D'Angelo took it and flipped it into something else. Yeah, Primo talked about it for 10 years ago and turned it into a whole argument. Damn, cannabis? That's that ego, though. That's that ego. Then he waits 3 years later to put out the Zach album that we wanted to hear in the first place. But by then, it was too late. It was too late already. And his star power was kind of dwindling anyway. Eminem gave him a little raffle back. He threw a little lifeline at him. And he couldn't. And that even wasn't even enough. When you got the biggest white rapper in the game dissing you and that shit didn't help. I was waiting for a second round knockout part 2 on Eminem. He didn't have it. He tried to drop that joint on that Mike Club joint. I'm like, man, nobody would have hear that shit. Eminem called you out by name, dude. You had the biggest rapper in the game naming you, calling you cannabis. You supposed to come at his neck. He gonna drop some subliminals. Did you know that Eminem wanted Who Knew to be the first single with Jimmy Iovine? Sometimes that's a good move, though, man. I mean, we shit on these execs, but they're in the mood to make money. At the end of the day, they're in the game to make money. And looking back, that was probably a better move because The Real Slim Shady was a big song. Golly, that song was everywhere, man. That crossed him over to the pop world. He didn't want to go to the pop world, but damn it, that pushed him there anyway, and it doubled his dollars. Yeah, damn right. If it don't make dollars, it makes sense. So Jimmy Iovine, for what it's worth, he know how to make money. He knew that it wasn't gonna really make a dent. Now see, M now is in a point where he can put out them type of songs. He can release whatever he want to make money. He done created that base. He done created that base. I don't think Who Knew would have worked for the simple fact that I don't know what kind of video you could put out with a song like that. That's good for just being on the album. I don't know a video you could put out with that, though. Like, how would it match that concept? So they did the right move with The Real Slim Shady. Eminem had no classic songs. Let's keep it buck. Come on, man. Here we go, man. Eminem the baby bringing the venom out of y'all hip hop heads. What Eminem song are you putting up with the best? I'm gonna tell you some Eminem. See, I've been following Eminem since like '97. He got a lot of good shit, man. I mean, look up Any Man, from the Raucous soundtrack. Remember the Sound Bombing too? Any Man, when he talked about spraying Puffy with mace. That's one of my favorite joints. Get You Mad. Listen to Get You Mad from the Sway and Tech compilation. Then he had a dope verse off the whatchamacallit, the anthem, with Chino XL, RZA, and all them guys. Guilty Conscience, Brain Damage. My favorite song from Eminem would be If I Had $1 Million. That's one of his best songs. That and Rock Bottom. Rock Bottom was one of his best songs. Him and what's another song? The reason I got on M, because see, he been around the Outsiders. We just had Bizarro on the show, so he gave us a great insight on how Eminem was coming up. And see, who knows? Eminem take aim at mainstream society. It would have been a good second single, but the real Slim Shady, they needed that pop crowd. Not playing baseball. Oh, you talking about you're not off the major look. Oh, you must be talking about if Eminem was to do a versus. He wouldn't match up with Nas. They two different MCs. Eminem was more of a shot value rapper. Nas is more of a street poet. It wouldn't match. Eminem wouldn't match up well with him. They're two different styles. Two different audiences, as a matter of fact. Most Def got songs that killed M. It's all subjective though, bro, because a lot of stuff that most will play on a versus setting, it wouldn't resonate to the crowds. So you got to look at stuff like that. If they was gonna get down on the mic on the verses or something like that, M will probably match up better with Lil Wayne or somebody popular. He's a great performer. M is a great performer. I mean, I looked at some of his stuff on the Anger Management Tour. He's a great performer. Totally disagree. Enough respect. Yeah, M and Most are two different rappers. See, it gotta be with somebody that's kind of like has the battle background with M. You know what I mean? But going back to the topics, man, with the whole thing with Jay. Going back to the topic with the whole thing we talking about with Jay-Z and everything. A lot of artists just don't like a lot of their work like that because of what they've been through. Creating that art. So it is what it is on that end. But what else is going on today, yo? What's going on? What's on y'all mind, man? Feel free to shoot. Feel free to shoot me some questions, yo. I'm about to build it with y'all for a little bit. What's going on out there? The culture. M lost some damn battles against Juice and M. It don't matter, bro. Dr. Dre erased all that shit. They did the Men in Black on our asses. We know about that, but soon as M got signed, they did this. Sorry. That shit don't even exist now. All the battles that Eminem had is with Papa Doc. That and 8 Mile. That's all people know. All that stuff we know, it don't matter. What they did with Interscope, they went ahead and remarketed the whole campaign. They wanted to market Eminem as the baddest battle rapper ever. So they like, oh, we took some L's with Juice. Race that nigga out the history books, yo. We got to repackage that. Shit. We ain't fucking up our marketing. Just stick to the script. Eminem was battling at the Olympics. We signed him right there. Rest is history. M had beef with the evidence of dilated peoples. Oh yeah, I'm talking about before he got signed. After he got signed, where he got more bullshit. When he got into it with Everlast, that was one of the funniest. Seeing them two white boys beef, that was one of the funniest beefs ever. Whitey Ford held his own though. I ain't gonna front. Whitey Ford held his own. I like Everlast. Everlast and House of Pain niggas is dope. But Eminem was too witty for him. Especially when he started playing the guitar and shit. Talk about he wish he had a heart attack. He was too much for Whitey Ford. Evidence could have had a better shot. But see, Evidence, he didn't put the knockout blow though. Evidence he had the best shot taking Eminem down. Jump around. Nigga, jump around is still hype. I don't give a damn. Jump around. Shoot. That Muggs beat, you can't help but to get hype. I don't care what you say. I don't care what the industry say. You play that at any revenue. Jump around. Everybody gonna start jumping. Evidence called Eminem a fake Chino SL. The M and Pace will have a piece it up. Yeah, they been pasted up. We had Pace on the show a couple months ago. Him and Eminem in good terms now. Yeah, they in good terms now. I didn't get deep. See, what I do is I'm not no beef seeking type guy. I'm the type of person where if they have issues, I want to bring it to the head and hopefully squash it, because you don't want to see two dope niggas that was cool once upon a time all of a sudden go at it. Eminem called Eminem a fake Chino XL. A lot of people were saying that, believe it or not. Because if you listen to Chino XL's I Told You So album, it sounds like M kind of got a lot of that from him. Listen to a lot of those songs. M studied Chino XL with a lot. Dude ain't got no monster records. Nah, he ain't got no monster record, but see, that's not his style. Just like the same way with Nas. Hold up. Jay-Z career should have ended after either him be. You trying to make it like my man is Triple H or some shit. He needed a chick to save his career. He made it like he Triple H or something. Oh man, but if anything, that's a valid point though. Real talk, jokes aside, I'm pretty sure Jay would have still been relevant because he's Jay-Z. I mean, he just dropped the Blueprint album. The nigga just dropped Michael Jackson on stage. He put Michael Jackson on stage. He wasn't going anywhere. He was a power player, but he had the strength of his standing in the game. He wasn't going to go anywhere. Nas knocked him off that pedestal a little bit. Y'all heard the Evidence song. The Evidence song was pretty dope. He just didn't have the knockout punch though. I like how DJ Babu was cutting him up. He was cutting Eminem up with the scratching though. Hi, shut up, bitch. He took that Eminem sample from Hi My Name Is. Then he scratched it up with the Eazy-E when Eazy-E said, "Shut up, bitch." That was dope. That was dope. But Evidence should have had the knockout blow ready. He had M on the ropes, but he didn't execute it. He didn't really need Bay, but Bay helped. Yeah, I said the same thing, bro, because Jay-Z was already a star. The man did numbers, sell it. He did numbers the day the towers dropped. You got to have a strong base to do that. You know what I mean? He dropped his album the day the towers dropped and went gold. You can't discredit him on that one. I knew right there he won't go nowhere. He ain't Eminem to answer to K Reno. I don't think Eminem heard it. K Reno is underground, with all due respect. K Reno's a good dude. One thing I'll give K Reno credit for, K Reno stood up to the plate. When that whole controversy came through about Eminem and those tapes, he G-checked Eminem. K Reno is super buzz. I like K Reno though. I like K Reno. K Reno was actually a solid dude. We had him on the show a couple years ago. Very dedicated to the craft. Matter of fact, he's one of Scarface's favorite rappers. So you know, and Face, for what I've known, Face is very hard to impress. So he had to be doing something to get Faces here. Barry the Bear, he brashed that Dave Dash like Triple H. It's a crazy comparison when you think about it, yo. Yeah. Jay-Z didn't do a good job of Def Jam president. Wasn't promote some dude's records. Man, let me tell you what happened with that. Shit. Jay took that Def Jam position. Redman, Meth, X, LL, all had records lined up. Jay came up in right there like, look, yeah, man, I think I wanna come back and rap. I think I'm kind of feeling it right now. You know, I mean, the game has changed, and maybe I got a spot coming in. You know, maybe I could just go back in there in the booth and rap a little bit. You know, just rap. You know, I mean, I kind of miss the game because, you know, I got Bay right there. I mean, I'm running the billboard and all that, and I might just want to go in there and just rap a little bit. Basically, what that nigga was trying to do, he was like, yo, Push these niggas aside. My album coming out with a beer commercial. I bet they told Redman and Meth, yo, we can't put no projects out on y'all. Y'all, we ain't got no budget. The budget is tight. Next thing you know, Jay-Z come out with Kingdom Come. Big ass beer commercial behind it. $1 million press. Niggas was salty. Jay pushed all them niggas to the side and put his album out. That's why DMX couldn't stand him. That's why X left the label. None of these guys on Def Jam in the 2000s made hot albums. Which one you talking about? You talking about Ja? You talking about Redman trash album? Yeah, Red Gone Wild and Malpractice wasn't good. Meth's joint wasn't good either. Yeah. Ja Rule was cooked. He was done. LL, you know, he wasn't gonna put out nothing. So Jay was like, you know what? Pushing all these niggas out. Put my album coming out. Yeah, I didn't like Malpractice. And Red even said himself that joint was whack. Because Red was too busy shooting movies and stuff. He was doing commercials and movies all day. He didn't really focus on the album. And he also said that Red Gone Wild, he was just going through shit with the label. He just put it out there so he can get off. Meth, on the other hand, went through the same thing. There was new management because see what happened with Def Jam. Def Jam was going through a transitional period. You had Rick Ross coming up there. You had Jeezy coming up there. You had Rihanna coming up there. Kanye he's coming up there. So they basically took the niggas from the 90s out and they pushed them. That's the way it was. That's the way it was, man. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this here. I saw this earlier to change subjects for a minute. I seen a clip of Reggie Wright talking about he wasn't trying to hear Dr. Dre rap. He ain't trying to hear a 56-year-old rapping. Let me tell y'all this, man. Let me tell y'all this about this here. Dr. Dre, possibly the GOAT. Anytime, he still got people anticipating the day. That's a gift. The Contract album was solid. I mean, it was just some songs he did for the video game. Look at this here. What is Dr. Dre doing this month, guys? What is Dr. Dre doing? Tell me. This month. With Snoop Dogg, with Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. What is he doing this month? I'm waiting for the first person to answer that. Yeah, what is Dr. Dre doing this month in January? Somebody tell me. January or February? The Super Bowl. There you go. What is Reggie Wright doing? I'll wait. Dr. Dre is performing at the Super Bowl. What is Reggie Wright doing? Exactly. I know next month's his birthday. Getting clout. Look at the mentality of this shit. Dre done moved on from that era. Dre is with Snoop, Mary, Kendrick. They're performing at the Super Bowl. Rapping tunes that we heard for the past 30 years. 30 years. The Chronic turns 30 this year. How many rappers you know can do that? Reggie Wright. Talking about old shit. From 1995. That's his claim to fame. That's all he can talk about. They're not booking him to talk about his life. They're not booking him to talk about what he going on. They being chatty patties. They're going over there talking about the same stuff that we've heard for 30 years, man. Going on Vlad's couch. I have a beef with that. Like, don't y'all niggas get tired of telling the same stories, man? I can understand if somebody like Suge was coming out because Suge doesn't talk. Suge's locked up. Whatever goes out, he got to defend the name. But these niggas, every day the same stuff about Snoop, Dre, Pac, and the Dogg Pound. Every day the same content. Don't y'all get tired of that? This shit going on for 28 years. Like, come on, man. We got to have growth. If we're going to talk about Death Row, we talk about the magical music that came out of that camp. This stuff gets old after a while, man. Like, y'all, like, they stuck. Dre done evolved and moved on. He ain't been in Death Row in almost 30 years. And don't get me started on the Tupac stories. See, I'm tired of that, man. These brothers have been gone for 30 years going on. Big was gone before the millennium was gone. Before the millennium happened. Same as Pac. All you guys can talk about is them getting killed. All you can talk about is beefs and shootouts and all that stuff. Like, come on, man. If we're going to talk about stuff, see, even when we have guests from that era on there, we don't regurgitate on the bad. You know what I mean? We don't sit there and talk about the same stuff. We don't regurgitate the same form of content. It gets old after a while, man. Like, talk about the map. Like, I want to hear the stories about how them records was made. Like, I want to hear, like, for example, we had my friend, rest in peace, CPO the Boss Hog. Well, we talked about how he created Picture Me Rolling with Tupac and Danny Boy and Big Sight. It was a dope story. We talk about the music, man. See, everybody got into the Vlad clout chasing mentality. They see what's working for him. They want to follow up and do the same thing. Now, it's going to take us a little longer because we're not doing that. But I want to do this with integrity. I don't want to talk about beefs from way back in the day. Talk about the music. Exactly. That's what they see. Everybody wants to follow the Vlad formula, which works. But it depends on what you want to do. Like, I did a post today about Tupac and Stretch. Every story I heard about with Tupac and Stretch has just been about their fallout. But people don't know about Stretch. Stretch was a cold rapper. Him and Pac, man, they have the best chemistry, man. I'm talking about Batman and Robin. Pac put Stretch on a lot of his stuff. I'm talking about the Strictly for My Niggas album. He put him on Thug Life. He put him in the Mac Mall video. He put him in the Bullet movie. He put him on Pain, one of the Pac's best records. Loyal to the Game. Pac and Stretch, man, they had a great combination, man. And Stretch's voice alone, it had a very aggressive tone to it. So listen to Stretch's verse off of Under Pressure. Pac and Stretch blanked on that joint. See, that's what I like to hear. I like to hear stories about the music, man. All that drama and stuff, man, that gets old after a while, man. It brings nothing but bad energy. The DOC would have been one of the GOAT rappers. He wasn't his voice. That's true. Now, his mentality for making records is now in the left. DOC is one of the sharpest minds in the business. The Helter Skelter album would have been better if his voice wasn't messed up. He interviewing people who barely went to school. It's capitalism. Yeah, it's capitalism. He capitalized off of dumb niggas. Please interview Chris the Globe Taylor. He got some dope stories from making Reckless with Ice-T. I'm going to reach out to him. Definitely going to reach out to him. Oh yeah, I got a lot. I got a big list coming, man. I got a lot of surprises on deck. So y'all beware with me, man. Beware with me. We got a lot of surprises coming, man. Shit is like shooting fish at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, it works, but at the end of the day, tacky journalism only take you so far. Shit, I like to go outside and pump my gas. Vlad can't even show his face. Why do you think he don't show his face? Same with a lot of these guys that's doing this stuff for clout. They can't show their face in public like that. That's not the way to live. Walking around with bodyguards and shit. Priority Records was the Def Jam of the West Coast. Debatable. Very debatable, because Priority, they gave a lot of creative freedom for a lot of acts. Ice Cube had to set their ass straight, though. When they tried to show them with some bread, they came up there with the bat. See, this is where you know the game has changed. That, I'm going to tell you this, and this is my belief. That's where the industry changed. Because Cube was a very intelligent guy. Cube didn't do, to my knowledge, he wasn't a dope fiend. He went to college. He had 2 parents, so he was highly educated. So they couldn't run that side hustle shit on him. He was intelligent enough to see that he wasn't paid his proper share of royalties from Ruthless, and he bounced. So then Priority tried the same thing, and you know what he did? Came up there with the bat. Straight Mark McGuire and them niggas on them plaques. Bashing all them plaques. And they gave that nigga his money. See, they ain't gonna do that today. They could do that. They could manipulate a lot of these guys easy today. Just give them some pills. They'll dance on the table. And take their publishing. See, you ain't gonna have no Ice Cube setting it off like that today like you did before. Man, that's crazy, man. Oh shit, it's almost been an hour since I've been chopping up with y'all. Man, let me get up out of here, man. I'm about to go get me some rest. But yeah, the build has been fun with you guys. I'm definitely going to start doing more lives. I'm probably going to do lives every Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on what's going on. I had to speak my mind on this because I had to get it all out. I had to get it all out real quick. I'm going to go, keep it real on Kendrick Lamar. I like Kendrick. Now, he got that push. The Aftermath stamp, it kind of like pushed him to the moon. What songs by him do you love? Not that song is I gotta analyze Kendrick's catalog because he has some good albums. But DNA, I like DNA because DNA's a hype joint to me. DNA was hype. They play that in the NBA Finals. What are the songs that wow you? What's the name of that song, man? Blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I like the concept of that because he tackled 3 different mentalities of the black mind. I like the way he did that. I like the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. That was some incredible analyzing. That's Lupe Fiasco lyrical analyzing right there. That's one of his coldest songs. Yeah, blacker the berry, sweeter the juice. That's one of the best songs Kendrick did. And Lucy. That Pimp a Butterfly album has some real deep shit. I like that one better than Good Kid, Mad City. Because Kendrick was able to go layers in that second album. It went a little weird, but he was able to go layers in that. It was weird as hell of some songs, but it worked for him. He didn't have no commercial joints like swimming pools up there. I prefer Razzcast and Planet Asia on the West. People sleep on Planet Asia. Yo, Planet Asia, as my man Comet would say, he's the tragedy Gaddafi of the West Coast to me. Underrated guy, putting out dope projects, Never a whack verse. He knows how to pick his beats. He spits dope content. He's the tragedy Gaddafi of the East Coast. I say that with in a complimentary way. Traj is dope. That's one of my favorite rappers. Traj been holding it down for 30 plus years. Never put out anything soft. Always drop jewels. He know how to pick his beats. He out there, but he a cool dude though, man. He a cool cat. And Razkaz, he's just now really getting it though. He's really getting those beats. That Soul on Ice 2 was fire. That Apollo Brown joint was fire. He started getting the right production. That Apollo Brown album was sick though. Kendrick is avoiding competition. You got Benny, Conway, Gibbs dropping bangers. You know what? That's an interesting intake on that because being that this guy, you remember the verse he did, the Control verse, where he called out everybody in the industry and he disappeared later on? Like, come on, man. You supposed to be coming with the shit, bro. You calling out all these niggas in the game. You supposed to be ready to answer. Same thing with T.I. See, this is what gets me about some of these rappers. They'll call out everybody, but yet when it's time to get in the ring, they don't really want to get in the ring. You gotta have that heart of a lion. You gotta jump in that den. You can't sit there and say you the best, this, that, and the third without jumping in the ring. I want to see the battle. Griselda has 0 bangers. Uh-oh. Hit y'all with the Joe Budden. He said Griselda got no bangers. Where my Griselda heads at? Y'all gonna let your man get away with that? You know I gotta instigate. You gonna let him get away with that? Where y'all at? Come on, man. I had to instigate it. That's what I do sometimes. It's all in fun though. He said Griselda got no bangers. None. 0. I'm gonna tell you this. He basically saying, nigga, you ain't gonna hear no West Side Gun in the club. That's basically what he's saying. He talking his ish right now. He saying West Side Gun ain't got no bangers. He said Benny the Butcher and Conway, them niggas is whack. So where my Griselda fans at? Y'all gotta ride, man. You don't hear West Side Gun anywhere. Oh, man, he talking spicy, yo. Where my Griselda heads at, man? Hell yeah, Rome Streets. Yo, Rome Streets is one of the best out there right now, in my opinion. That album he dropped, The Magician, The Magic and the Magician with Muggs, fire. Fire. If y'all ain't heard that, y'all missing out. Y'all missing out, man. Matter of fact, when I get off this live, I'm about to play that joint now that you ain't. Thank you, Carissa, for reminding me. That album is pure hardcore hip-hop. One Street Buns Buns. Griselda ain't all that in the club. Griselda 2.0. Nah, you gotta hear it, man. Muggs, that's how Muggs is talented, bruh. Muggs will make you sound good. Muggs will make me sound good. And I don't even rap. Muggs will make me sound good. Muggs is that talented, man. When Muggs do an album with you, nigga, you gonna sound like a prime spitter. Shit, Muggs, man, come on, man. Muggs got one of the best runs in hip-hop right now. Love Rome's Head Crack album. Man, Muggs will make you sound like you legit, bro. I don't even rap. Matter of fact, I might hit Muggs and tell him, look, send me some beats so I could talk over. I could just talk over. And he'll have me sounding legit. I live at PK, you ever heard Griselda once? Muggs is fire. Hell yeah, bro. Let me tell you this though. That's what RZA should have been doing, bruh. My block used to blast Ghost, Nas, Jay-Z, ASAP, Rocky, French, Montana, Ethnic all the time. But somewhere, somehow, Griselda got a following, though. I mean, we got to give them credit on that. I mean, them niggas got people buying their physicals, and people don't even buy physicals like that no more. Out here in the Carolinas, I went to see Benny the Butcher. I met Benny the Butcher 2 years ago. Real cool dude. They got a following. I gotta dispute that. They got a following. Now, their music is subjective, but they do got a following. They're following white boys from Michigan. Nah, dog. Nah, it ain't the Marshall base. They really got some legit dudes following them. They came to the Carolinas 2 years ago before COVID. I got pictures with all them guys, so they do got a black following, though. I'll give them that. But the music is subjective. I don't know. Yeah, because see what it is, though. See, they're not really doing anything new. See, we come from Wu-Tang. We come from boot camp. We come from the Terror Squad. When you got exposed to a lot of those acts in the 90s, a lot of these people that's coming out now is not going to really impress you. They're not going to really impress you like that because, we heard the best of the 90s. No, they're not signing Eminem no more. They been left shady. They left shady like 2 years ago. They left shady like 2 years ago. They're basically independent now. M won't doing shit for him, no way. he won't doing nothing for him like that. M probably did like one song with them dudes. But it was a good move for him. They had to move on. M ain't really focused on running a label anyway. He just the head. But it goes back to what we were saying. We heard the best of the best in the 80s and the 90s. You know what I mean? So when people hear Griselda, they probably hearing like, oh, they're kind of like, we already heard dope raps. We already heard that from Wu-Tang and all that. Understood. Their style ain't for everybody. But what I do respect is they came in and they brought the hardcore element back. They kind of changed the landscape for a lot of New York spitters. Now, a lot of people are following that lane, which is good. What they did was they kind of brought identity back to New York City when it came to having grittiness for a new generation. I mean, for Raekwon to pass some niggas the torch, they got to be doing something right. But shit, it's 12:30, man. Let me rock up out of here, man. Thank y'all for building with this live with me, man. We got some dope shows coming this week and this from February. Be on lookout for those, and we uploading more content. I got some surprises lined up. So thank y'all for the build. I enjoyed it. Keep up with us. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Off the Cuff Radio. Follow my man on Black Poet. Comment. Screwball Radio. I'm out. Holla.